uyakudla ngothiwa ewe umuntu xa ebulisa. Honorable Premier, MEC, Executive Mayor, Deputy Executive Mayor, and everyone that is here. Sizawuqala le program emfitshane engazubande kakhulu. NdinguKhansila uMbotshane. Ndizawucela nje ngolu hlobo uba DJ uready. Ndicele wonke umuntu ame ngenyawo silungele ukuthatha umhobe wesizwe. Sicele naba baphanga phandle bawuzolele ukwenzela uba kuba i-national anthem ngumthandazo wesizwe kufuneka siwuhloniphe sonke. Now indicator apho kwelo cala uba seni ready. Ngicela ke senzeni lonto ngokuhloniphekileyo simeni ngenyawo sonke sizovula lo msitho wethu nge-national anthem. Kakhulu ke singahlala phansi. Sisahlala phansi ke kanjalo man bese ndicela uHonorable Executive Mayor wase Enoch Mgijima uKhansila uGubhula eze ngaphambili azosamkela. Over to you, Councillor Gubhula.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Greetings to the Honorable Premier, Honorable Mabuyane, Honorable MEC, Utatu Matikizela, Executive Mayor wase Krisani, Utatu Kela, no Deputy Executive Mayor, family ya Ndondo, government officials, amanene namanenekazi. Ngalenji kalanga ndiyanibulisa nonke ngegama lenkosi yethu enguYesu Kristu. Amen. Amen. In the preamble to the Constitution of the Republic, Act number 108 of 1996, the statement is made clear that we, the people of South Africa, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, lay their foundation for the democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people, and every citizen is equally protected by law. On the occasion of the naming of this park, the commitment enshrined in the Constitution le besithetha ngayo ka-1996 comes alive, in that the naming one of our own distinguished sons, Bathandwa Ndondo, is an honor befitting for a giant who suffered for justice and also for freedom. Our town, Komani, and the people of Mkijima municipality live to cherish such opportunities as these, because an office park of this magnitude is indeed a huge investment in the livelihood of our people. It is the people of Mkijima who stand to benefit the most, and ours is a noble task of ensuring that we run systems that will stifle the perpetuation of meaningful development that this establishment is meant to facilitate. It is our expectation, as should be the expectation of the masses of our people, that the naming of this establishment after Bathandwa Ndondo, a servant leader and a community builder, will inculcate in all of us a culture of service, a sense of urgency and gratitude for the privilege of public representation and service. That the glory of Bathandwa Ndondo's legacy will be resembled not by the towering buildings, but by the spirit of service and nation building that engulfs everyone occupying the offices. Separated by a century, an anonymous poet in the Kala area did remind us of Chief Stokwe Ndlela, a warrior chief whose revolutionary traits can best describe the legacy of Bathandwa Ndondo when he said, "Niphina ngedabi lecacadu, mhla indonga zecacadu zakhamnqa, kuba amanzi ajika aligazi, zingoza inkanunu zidala ingede, wayelapho uStokwe kaNdlela, unoqenqelekile utyeshombi kanye, ukhala mqadi wafa yintsika, inkomo kasothuka nogangatha, iqhagi elibaleka nomtyawalo. Kunamhla nathi siyangqina, wayekhona uBathandwa Ndondo, iqhagi elibaleka nomtyawalo, a man who was fervent in his convictions and unwavering in integrity in the service of our people." You are all welcomed. Thank you very much.
Inkosi kakhulu usodolophu ngosamkela. Eneneni yanga umoya wezinto ebekholelwa kuzo utata uBathandwa Ndondo. Inganguwo oyawusinceda singaboni nje ubuhle bebuilding eneneni. Abantu abazawehla besenyuka besebenza kwezi zakhiwo baqhutywe yiloo mpembelelo yokuba ebesisichochovu sokulwela ilizwe nokukhulula abantu besizwe. Phandle kokuchitha ixesha mandicela umama uSeptember athi gqabagqaba nje ukwenzela basazi ukuba ngobani abantu abalapha phakathi kwethu. Ndiyam.
Thank you so much. Let me once again greet everybody that is here. I am not going to waste time because we have to observe the protocols of the COVID-19. Namhlanje silapha ngenxa kaBathandwa Ndondo. Gogo ke ifamily yakhe ekhokhelwa ngumama wakhe, umama uPrincess Lulama Sidumo ilapha yonke. Nabantu abasondeleyo kuye from Insebeza family, Nohlazo family, they are all here. Asisuka apho ke sibe nentsikelelo yokuba undunankulu weliphondo uba uOscar Mabuyane abaphakathi kwethu. Inkokhele yaziwa ngumuntu wonke kweliphondo singenakuba singathi siyamchaza. A man with a big heart that can accommodate every people. Especially he's got a place for the poor people. Ungumuntu othobekileyo kakhulu, is a great leader. ecankwakhe ke sibe nobawo ubabalo Madikizela from kwi family yakulo mama uWinnie. He's also an MEC yakwa Public Works. Naye ke usuka ngapha ya eMbizane. Ungu provincial treasurer we ANC. He is also a great leader because upremier xa o-MEC bakhe bebengengakhokheli bengenzi ngekakuhle eliphondo ngelingekho nje ngoba there is nobody that can make his success alone. We are also blessed to have him. Sibe nayo ke umuntu ondiphetheyo phaya eKrisani uba wongamagela oyi-executive mayor yaphaya eKrisani. He's a young guy, but ungameasuring performance yakhe ngeminyaka, his rights zakhe in terms of leading, they are so high. Siphinde ke sibe naye apha utata lo usiqhubela into sibhexeshelayo, Honorable Mbochane from eKrisani. Apha sinosodolophu wale ndawo sikuyo. Sichila apha ke kwakhe ke umama ululama egubhula unefane ezimbini enye angafuni mayibizwe. Emveni koko sisiwongiwe apha bethunani provincial chair of unehawu ophakathi kwethu to come and grace this occasion. Directors from different government departments, they are all here. We cannot just name them one by one because of time. The media, that is always with us. Xa kusenzeka izinto ezinhle naxa kusenzeka izinto ezimbi, but izinto ezimbi kweli phondo asinazo zibe ninzi, zezo zenziwa zisaphuselane. Thank you so much everybody. Ndicinga uba ndimqalile okokuba ke ukhona umuntu endimshiyileyo ndingabe ndenze impazamo ebekhona kusodolophu wasenquba yethemba kodwa andisamboni ngokwapha phakathi kwethu umama uZonke. Thank you so much. Feel free and be blessed for the day. Thank you.
Nkosi Mama September, ngokusazisela abantu abalapha niqaphele kuba zikhona nenhloko zamasebe alapha edistrictini bona ke yakwa social development umama uMpondwana nabanye benibone nakwa human settlement. Kuyacaca ba wonke urhulumente ulapha. Masicele ke ilungu losapho libe nelizwi elizawulenza khange ndinikwe kwigama apha eprogramini kubhalwe nje ilungu losapho. Over to you, ma'am.
Enkosi tata, mandizaziseqala ngubusisiwe lo uthethayo uSister kaBathandwa. Ndiqale ndibulise Honorable Premier uTata Mabuyane, our MEC yakwa Public Works uTata Madikizela, the executive mayors, ndithi xa ndigqibela ndithi all protocols observed. Ndingatyanga xesha kuba sekutshiwo ixesha liqhatshwe yinja. uBathandwa was a young man that was born on the 6th of July 1963 njengoba sesibonile ngela xesha bekutyilwa ilitye phaya. Ezalwa nguPrincess Lula Masidumo, intombi yakwaNdondo, eMahlubini Administrative Authority, eTsomo komkhulu. Okokuqala mandibulele abantu abathe ba-organizer le event inkulu kangaka. Ndibulele whoever suggested igama likaBathandwa xa bekucingwa ngento bamana makuthiwe le building, this office park. Siyifamily sivuya kakhulu ukubana igama lakhe livele. Kuthe kwakho ixesha elide. uBathandwa died in 1985. Kukhe kwakho ixesha elide Emveni kwe-events ezininzi ewayekhunjulwa engavakali igama lakhe, sade sanexhala sathi hey, mhlawumbi igama lakhe inoba selibucima ezingqondweni zabantu. Kodwa recently siyabona into yobana igama lakhe uBathandwa liphinde lavuseleleka. Andiyazi uba i-event esingaphi kulo nyaka eyenziweyo nakunyaka ophelileyo ngoBathandwa. Into ethetha ukuthi uBathandwa imisebenzi yakhe usakhunjulwa. uBathandwa was a student when he died. Efunda eUnitra. So many people didn't know him. That is his history in the struggle. Kodwa ke siye sivuye xa sifumanisa into yoba kubakhona ii-memorial lectures ezikhe kucingwe into yoba makayenzelwe zona, so that ulutsha olukhoyo luzokwazi uba who Bathandwa is. So it was painful then xa wayesweleka, but now we feel honored to realize that there are people who still recognize and value his contribution in the struggle for liberation. uBathandwa was a patriot. He valued patriotism. He was putting people's lives first. Hence we now talk of Ibatupile. He was leading students at the University of Transkei, which is better known today as Walter Sisulu University. He didn't fear to do what was right, although he knew that the situation could cost his life. As the offices zakhiweyo apha, they are here to serve the people of our country. I am sure today, when he hears his name called, and in future, when the service levels are high in these premises, his spirit will rest in peace, which I trust they are like that. They are high services that are going to be given to the people here. Let us make sure that these buildings named after people like Bathandwa and Ndondo do not leave those comrades' heads hanging in shame. Dithetha nge-service delivery. We have come to witness the naming of multi-departmental building, which is known as the Bathandwa and Ndondo Office Park. uBathandwa was a true hero of African people and a martyr of struggle and freedom, or struggle for freedom, who paid his ultimate price for the freedom we are enjoying today. It is therefore important that we make sure that we do not disappoint him and other comrades. I therefore want to make a reflection in what Bathandwa stood for and what he laid his life down for. Bathandwa died to make sure that transformation takes place and liberation in education is certain. And we know that education is the key in everything that we do in our country. Before he died, when he was suspended at UNITRA, he was working for iHealthcare Trust, an organization around Kala that was bringing water closer to the people. And they were plowing vegetables in the villages around Kala to eliminate poverty. In conclusion, without wasting time, I would like to sincerely convey on behalf of the family our heartfelt gratitude to the political and social leaders and the government for never failing to immortalize Bathandwa Ndondo's name. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.
Nkosi Sisibusi, ngale ntetho imnandi kangaka isikhumbuza ngotata uBathandwa Ndondo. Bingumyalezo ke lo osuka kusapho. Masicele ke omnye umyalezo osuka kwi-organized labor. Andiyazi ke sihlalo kuba ndingake ndibhidwe izinto zabasebenzi. Mna kuleya yam i-NGO kubizwa osihlalo iba ngabantu abathethayo. Ngathi kanti ke izinto zigqwethekile kweli cala lakho comrade Masango ongu-chairperson weNEHAW in the province. Masicele wena ke uzokwenza umyalezo on behalf of NEHAW.
Revolutionary greetings to the Honorable Premier, Oscar Lubabalo Mabuyane Udia, Umdungwan, as well as your team. To the Honorable MEC, Babalo Matigizela Ungutyan, the family of Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo, the Honorable Mayor, yes, Tile Simbaka, Comrade Wongamagela Ungilash, Honorable Deputy Mayor, Comrade to September, Honorable Kupula, Mafago, Honorable Zonke, na bobonke enihamba nabo enisuka kwi-institution yakwamasipala. Distinguished guests, district directors from various departments, as well as all senior managers that are here, the regional leadership of the ANC and the alliance components, as well as the regional leadership of NEHAW, in particular at Methugoniwe region, as led by Comrade Sibusiso Kamte, ne-stakeholders zonke ezikhoyo nabasebenzi ne-branch leadership yazo zonke ezi departments sizihambeleyo today. Ndingakhange ndibe mde ndizonika nje umyalezo ndisithi kumanina phambi koba ndikhuphe umyalezo because i-Women's Month. Kule nyanga yenu manina ndithi malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi, with an appreciation to all women who continue to work tirelessly towards advancing gender transformation and equality, and to the 1956 women who unified and waged vehement battles to break the shackles of apartheid. We salute those women. As NEHAW, i-message yethu today, we want to applaud and appreciate the initiative by our government for this investment. Investing more on infrastructure is a progressive move. Well done, leadership. And the move is going to assist our workers to work in a conducive environment. And it is also going to bring back their confidence, their dignity. Because employees azizukwazi ba efficient and effective if the environment is not conducive, even in terms of the performance. On the other hand, this initiative is also going to meet the needs of the society at large in terms of e-service delivery. The only mistake ekufuneka si-avoid now that sesinayo le infrastructure as solid, we must be able to maintain it. The problem is that asikwazi we maintain infrastructure. Also, siyafuna ucela singabasebenzi siaphila kwi-managers ezikhoyo apha that what we are not going to tolerate kukuthi sesinayo infrastructure kugqabhuka amanzi kube kwi-crisis okanye i-challenges kwi-ablution facilities kuthiwe make silinde u-MEC no-Premier babezovula bazo-addressa. That we are not going to tolerate. We would expect abantu abakwi-position of authority at this level to make it a point that kuzaba ne-workplace peace apha kungade kuliwe ngenxa yoba akukho manzi izinto ebekufanele uba ziyakwazi uresolveka amicably. Siyafuna ke ukuthi sikwixesha elinzima eli lika COVID-19. The challenge of this invisible enemy requires all of us to work together. Kuba eli xesha lifuna sibambisane in landing, Honorable Premier. Inehaw as a Marxist, Leninist, radical, militant, transformative red union, organizing predominantly in the public service. We do acknowledge, Honorable Premier, that this current government, yetu, inherited a racial skewed public service in which 95% then ibe abantu abamhlophe and only 0.6% were African. And even in 1994, the apartheid government debt was around 50% of the GDP. So into ethetha ukuthi lo hurumende usikhokhelayo inherite amatyala of the previous regime. All the debts of the previous regime, even the infrastructure, you could see that the inherite zonke ezazinto ze apartheid system. Hence, sifuna ukuthi kwi leadership ekhoyo today, as how we acknowledge that, and si acknowledge asinjalo, siyayazi ukuthi there will be from time to time disagreements in some areas because interests zethu they run parallel, and also because of the nature of the employer-employee kind of a relationship. Siyayazi ke uba sikwi-class struggle in class terms. And thina sinehaw as the primary motive force of the National Democratic Revolution, we cannot be hostile towards our own government because we understand the history and the terrain we operate under. However, it does not mean that when the conditions of service are not favorable to us as the working class, we are going to keep quiet. We are going to fight, but we are going to fight in a progressive manner, not in a destructive manner. Precisely because we do understand our ideological semblance, which is the NDR. And siyayazi ukuthi at the end sifuna achieve ntoni as abantu abaku-MDM structures. Therefore, Honorable Premier, we are therefore looking forward to working with our current government in making sure that the public service is transformed in totality. And we want to make sure that we maintain what we already have for the generations to come, amandla. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo, long live. Socialism is the future, build it now. Thank you.
Enkosi kakhulu. Enkosi kakhulu, Chairperson wenehaw in the province of the Eastern Cape. Ngalamazwi nalomkhabulo kuba wena kuyafuneka simane sirhabulisa. Ukhona into endiyiqapheleyo Madlamini xa ndiku-acknowledge bese uku-acknowledge usephandle. Xa umamela pha ko-SAFM ujonga napha ku-Twitter, there is negativism engummangaliso towards a government, and I'm happy that Chair uthethe ezi zinto uzithethileyo. Abantu bade bangathi balibele noba i-African National Congress i-inherite urhulumente ebenjani. Ngenxa yento bana kunezinto abacinga uba kumele bazenziwa ngohlobo oluthile, side sigxeke ngongathi silibele ukuba zintoni izinto ezilungiswayo ngurhulumente. Sizawucela ke u-Honorable MEC azosithatha through nge-project profile, kodwa ndifuna msuthu sesikundenzela le nto kuba u-Honorable Premier unento yomane esithi akayithandi le nto yokuphathwa zii-additional members. Ngoku ndifuna useske undinceda xa ugqiba ukwenza i-project profile useske undiphakamisele upremier kuba ndiyi-additional member andinalo elo gunya lokuyenza loo nto. Enkosi.
Thanks, Program Director. I'm not sure about additional member piece. So better than PEC, not in REC. So you're not on the same level with him. Like a special greetings to the family. Katato Bathandwa. Greetings to Uboswam, Premier, Executive Mayor, Mayors Eslapa. Boneno Mayor was Gapa, the Karatok, Mabaye. Ote Premier Kaibona is Ndosi Zenzayo, was on the Kaula up. Indubaba Funalendi also Yenzapa. That I think it's one of the things that we must appreciate with leadership in Jalo. Eti Kaibona Gukujwa, Ibenekwel. I think we'll be going there in no time. I think mine is a very brief one. Kukuniga njenge project. The project is, the entire project, it's a project eyayiqale ngo-2017 ukwakhiwa kwe-offices ngenxa ye-budget kumane no 2007 kumane kusenziwa kancane but in the recent years 2016 the specific one esizoyivula namhlanje kuye kwa-allocate about 125 million so to do this last block that is accommodated 2 departments. In the entire complex, there are 6 departments as well as the accommodator. It's an ideal one-stop shop that we have been talking about. And those departments meant we are saving more than 3 million per annum on rentals, ebese render with private sector. So the monies that can be used for other developments. But I must say, department yakwa Kokta, yiyo esashiyekileyo esaxhwakhe no human settlement. We next financial year ezo revempelwa le building elapha eMtakanyana. That I'm certain before the end of next year we'll be here again. Sizonikezela ngalo building. But in total work done up to date, it's around 270 million investment efakwe nguhulumende apha. Now, i-advantage ke eyezi one-stop shops ilena yokuba inkonzo abantu bazifumana endaweni enye bangajikeleza idolophu xa bekhangela nenkonzo. And with hope into yoba like we are working njengoba sizama ukusebenza nabo no human settlement. Ndibonile Premier u-regional director wakwa human settlement uthunyelwe apha. Sifuna ke kwezi one-stop shop siso sizama nespace sokwenza i-rental housing working with human settlements so that abasebenzi basose berenta kwalapha kufutshane bakwazi ukuwalka to i-offices. So it's the program that we want to roll out in all districts, and even when time permits and budget permits, in all local municipalities, where you will find everywhere you go, all government departments in one space. Bese siqalile ke Premier ku-engageana no national. Uba kwezinto sizenzayo, sibawela into ba zonke i-government departments zibe sendaweni eyi-1. Your Home Affairs, your SASSA, zibe sendaweni eyi-1. Where we don't have umhlaba as public works, sisebenza no national sifake khona. Where we don't have umhlaba, umasipala anomhlaba, like the concept that we will be doing eKratok, si partnerisha nomasipala sakhe kulowa umhlaba. When we don't have a budget, umasipala akhe sirende kuye, we do BTOs, we do PPP, we do all sorts of partnerships, but the intention is to create one-stop shops with the hope that the one-stop shops will bring other opportunities. Like here, we've got a canteen that I'm told is given to a private person to run. I think younger, that contract to in the next year also, that we are of the view that that canteen must be transferred to Premier's office. The program eranwa yosisiqalo and zonke za programs as a part to empower young people, to empower omama inikwe bona. because the advantage yayo, xa siyinika the Premier's office, siyinika isiqalo, they'll identify beneficiaries, assist them nange funding, monitor them, babysit them, handhold them, teach them the skills of running business. Because it must not only end with availing opportunities, we must also siba handhold till bakwazi ukuba ne-capacity. The project ke Premier is it be designed also by young professional. Khona umfana omncane apha ekuthiwa ngu-Inga ne-company yakhe. It's unfortunate akekho ngoku apha. And this young professional is the same one obesenza nale besiyo hand over yesterday. You can see the similarities, the nice fancy designs, and it's the direction that we want to take going forward. The contractor, is also a young African, ebisenza le contract, and it was also managed. Ukona seke and Mboni heads wagwa building. We've got a very capable team that makes us look as if we are doing something for public works. Diabona siyanconywa sinikwa yonke credit, and yet it's not us. Is these young, committed employees, ezenza wonke umsebenzi. All we do, Tina, is to give a political direction, support where it's needed, but zonke ezi praises, it's not because of us, it's them. So there's a young head, yakwa buildings up, a female, yakhu. You know, when we were doing a revamp, you might have noticed I was not frequenting Ikrisan because there was no crisis. There was order. Besingajikelezi nje noba ukhonto. Because besine standard pa Premier every Thursday. Sibane visual meetings, sinikwe report bekhona contractors and everyone. This has been one of the regions visit. I know Babexenswa is in All Saints, I've never been there. But because of the reports that we were getting, there was no need. Because of these young, committed females, run the project. So, who benefited upper SMMEs? A lot of SMMEs that we have made a commitment as public works into these SMMEs as beneficiary in our projects. We will assist them, handhold them to have bigger grades, upgrade IDB, whilst on the other hand, the infrastructure rollout that we are doing, we are unbundling projects so that they can benefit. I was making an example of some that will be starting to launch before the end of the year, but we have unbundled them at other persons. For instance, in Alfredo will be spending almost 500 million, a similar concept, Alwal North, one-stop shop, but we've phased out, fencing, see separated, earthworks, see separated. And Nakona, we've done different blocks, Nakanje, so that we achieve two things. One, efficiency in making sure that projects are finished on time. Number two, we are using local contractors. But number three, we are making sure that our contractors that we have at Eastern Cape, mainly as a color from grade 1 up to grade 7, they participate in infrastructure rollout. Siakala as a province, into Yoba, we are underdeveloped. We are saying, Tinagwa Public Works, we must use that as an advantage of making sure in Yoba, whilst we send our infrastructure rollout, we create businessmen and businesswomen out of that infrastructure rollout. The infrastructure that we are rolling, we want abantu base province babene ownership. Sifuna osomashishini babene ownership. Whilst we are able to point out, sifuna ke xa sesigqiba yonke lento siyenzayo, sikwazi nathi ukuproduce aba grade 8. Kuke kukhale kwezinye provinces. Uba sixakwe ngono contract abasikwa Eastern Cape, babe beyi-product ye-initiative ebe-focused erona ngurhulumente. I don't want to waste much time. This is one of the success stories. Apho senza khona a one-stop shop. In the next financial year, it will be complete because all departments will be here. Apha ke Krisani, there's only one department partially esarendayo, transport. Naye samkhupha. All departments zizoba kwi-state-owned properties. We know One of the challenges that we've been having as government, kungas maintain properties zethu. We've learned, we're correcting our mistakes, we are training artisans. We want all these properties ezenzayo zibe namajoni e-artisans maintain, so that kungabikho crisis, so that these young people, we want to do less of contracting these maintenance companies. We train young people, we skill them, but run a maintenance of all these properties. Whilst abanye be run vending machines, abanye be run canteens, abanye bezokwazi ukuvula zonke businesses that are linked to the services. Because the advantage of having all these offices in one place, it means une buying power as over compressed and when you want. So we're saying entrepreneurs must take advantage of this centralization of buying power in one place, so that many spin-offs in local business. Without wasting time, aniphakamisa umlungu wami angade record upresident uqala into enje yokushukumisa ngoku provincial the former deputy chairperson of the youth league, the secretary of the ANC for 2 terms, the chairperson of the ANC for 2 terms, and the future of the province, that the province has made an investment. That we are of the firm view as people of Eastern Cape, the Eastern Cape has invested, and we must guard our investment. Ngezandla zozibini. Thethani abantu bakho.
Andiwazi lo mhlobo unje we podium. Kodwa ke ndiyancoma kule creativity yase Christian. Izawundenza ndifuna usokola kodwa ke maninyamezele. Ndikunye nani. Mandithathe lithuba ndinike imbeko kuwe program director Joacha umfoka Mbotshane, the MEC for Public Works and Infrastructure, the Honorable Babalo Madikizela, the other members of the Executive Council that might be joining us through the social media platforms, the Executive Mayors of Christiani District Municipality, Enoch Mkijima, as well as Inquba Yetemba Local Municipality. Tuifaka kwa lapho ke Deputy Executive Mayor okwangumfundisi. The Bulisa Zongi public representatives as Koyo, the alliance leadership, government officials, organized labor, particularly the leadership of Niau led by the chair of the province, Ndondo family, umama, abantwana kwakunye nezihlobo. Inkosi yamahlubi ekhoyo phakathi kwethu apha namhlanje esuka phaya eTsomo apho Bathandwa Ndondo azalwa khona, umama agcinkhaya igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe amahlubi asincedile. Kuyacaca uba amahlubi akhululeka kudala. Xa sithetha ngala National Democratic Revolution ebethetha ngayo apha usihlalo wene how lamrhabulo wamahala besinika wona, sithetha ngelizwe sifuna ukulitransforma ibe lilizwe eli-united, ibe lilizwe eli-non-racial, ibe lilizwe eli-non-sexist, ibe lilizwe eli-democratic, ibe lilizwe eli-prosperous. Xa sithetha ke kule ndawo, because these are national questions, xa sithetha ke kule ndawo ye-non-sexist, sithi asiboni ndoda, asiboni mama, sibona umuntu. Ndiyayazi bikhona impithizelo ngenxa ye-patriarchal relations in our society. kuthe xa kucingwa ngobukhosi kucingwe ngodata noba bakhona omama balapha who are capable to take over. So it's part of the transformation that, as a premier of this province, I must appreciate kwesasizwe samahlubi. Sincoma le progress enjalo engayinganga umzekelo nakwamanye amakhaya. Kuchitheka ifamilies ngalento. Kushiywa abantu abakhoyo kuyokhangelwa abanye kudalwe kuba kukhangelwa umuntu okuthi ufanelekile kuba eyindoda. Ningandileqi into zakuthi I'm not really a Republican kodwa ndichaza nje inyani in line with the ideals that we are following and the kind of a society that we are building. Bulisa ke nabantu bonke abo basimameleyo nabayinxalenye yethu kumakhasi onxibelelwano. Manene nani manenekazi. Nabantu abakhoyo bemedia molweni bethu nanonke. It gives us a great pleasure to find ourselves among you this afternoon in another program to showcase our capability and agility to deliver the infrastructure programs by the Department of Public Works through their Operation Shesha Public Works. Since last year, besisenza infrastructure ye COVID. So, la Operation Shesha Public Works Service Delivery Model, I think it's something that we must all actually applaud and commend. We started this day in the morning by launching a visual digital innovation hub here in Komani to give our young people lifetime opportunities and address the challenge of bridging the digital divide in our society. So, ngathi si late nje asikho late ubuthelekisa ubulate bethu nala program ebesiyenza uyawubona ba si early kuba la msebenzi siwenzileyo ube mkhulu kakhulu iimpact yawo uyawuyibona kubantu abatsha abayinxalenye yala program ngokusithethayo abahleli behind those computers given an opportunity they have never dreamt of. As we converge here to show respect and acknowledge the contribution made by this gallant fighter for our liberation struggle, Comrade Bathandwa, Ndondo, after whom this office park here in Komani is being dedicated today. We chose this month to also honor you, Mama Comrade Bura, as well because of what you have endured during that tempestuous period of losing your son. Inyanga yomama. Kuqale kwakho umama ukuze kubekho uBhura. So we felt that ukunika intsingiselo kulomsebenzi masele si honorisha nawe mama ngokuba ube inxalenye yalo mcimbi kule nyanga yomama. Ndiyayazi ke bumana ugrogrisa ngalento ba ingathi usikusweleke xa ufuna ukwenza izinto zikaBhura. I-family member bebisithi ayisayazi bazingaphi kulonyaka i-activities sileqa ukufa kwakho osingakwaziyo kodwa ke izicwangciso zezethu apha emhlabeni kodwa izigqibo zivela kongasentla. Siyabulela kuba uThixo esakugcinile akwenze ubone ezinye izinto ezawuthi noba ulele ngenye yemini uxole into kokuba enyanisweni noba ibike yakhona indawo engathi umntana wakho ulityelwe abe namhlanje umntana wakho uyawuhlala exoliwe ezingqondweni nasezinhliziyweni zesizukulwana esisezayo kuba wonke umuntu uyawuyazi le ndawo njenge Bathandwa Ndondo Office Park nongekaqeshwa kwaRhulumente nongekazalwa uyawuthi xa echaza athi ndisebenza eBathandwa Ndondo kutsho kube umuntu othi yintoni ke ngoku uBathandwa Ndondo kubani uBathandwa Ndondo acaciselwe ngabantu abawube bekho ngelo xesha. Following a 5-year journey to realize a strategic vision and undertaking to increase the footprint of government departments in the province and by extension bring closer to the far-flung regions of the Eastern Cape public service to citizens as part of our service delivery improvement plan. Today, we are pleased to be officially opening the Bathandwa Ndondo Office Park, Izulu, as one employee said about her experience in the new building as compared to what she experienced in the old offices. Ngobe sihamba phaya omnye umsebenzini ndithe xa ndimbuza uba uva njani wathi ufilisha ngokungathi usezulwini. So leadership yabasebenzi, that's what we would want to see. There's life-changing experiences that abasebenzi would have, so that abasebenzi sinike isidima nembeko kubasebenzi njengezicaka zabantu bakuthi. This new building accommodates the departments, as MEC said, of Education and Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, joining other 4 departments who are already in this complex, bringing us closer to the realization of one-stop shop model. MEC uchilo ke into yoba ezishiyekileyo i-departments kulo nyaka mali zizawube zilungiswa so that urhulumente abe lapha ubuya kwelasebe ufumane loo nto. Into ekufuneka ngosiyenzile kukuzisa nala masebe ka-national, your home affairs, your SASSA, your everyone, closer where services are, so that umuntu angahlenyuka xa esiya kwenye aphinda asuka apha aphinda akhwele aye kwenye indawo. The idea behind the district development model, as launched by the president, is inika law vision yokokuba urhulumente simqokelele simebeke ebe kwindawo eyi-1, but also save a lot of money and millions that we are now currently paying rentals, and use that money to invest and improve our capability as state. The 6th administration, part of its electoral mandates is the question of us building a capable, a developmental and ethical state. The dedication of the newly refurbished public buildings in the province after heroes and heroines of our liberation struggle is in line with our stated objective in the State of the Province address. Sizama ukushiqilela umzila wenkululeko. Xa uthetha ngoChristiani uyazi ba apha kukho uBathandwa Ndondo. Xa uthetha ngoBathandwa Ndondo uyazi ba apha kukho uEnoch Mgijima. Nabanye ke abaninzi senza ke nomzekelo kwiofisi zomasipala. Kungathi hayi ndiya kwamasipala. Ngubani umasipala? Omnye umuntu uyawuthi ndiya kwaSipala. So we've got to correct these issues and rename our buildings so that we actually inscribe the names of our unsung heroes and heroines. We do this in acknowledgement of the sacrifices they've made in paving the way towards the democracy we all enjoy today. Through these state-of-the-art offices, we also hope to reflect the high aspirations they aspired towards, wanting a better life for all, in particular the poor and vulnerable in society. Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo dedicated his life to the poor. He was a committed patriot. Indeed, he was a revolutionary par excellence. Executive Mayor, we've got to solve problem yamanzi. Yavubobhura wathi xa igxothwe iUNITRA wazohlala apha enye yeprogram awayekuzo kukuzamazamana nemiceli mingeni yamanzi. It can't be that after such a long period we are still talking about challenges zamanzi kwi-communities zethu. So let's up the game, correct and find solutions to these perennial or persistent challenges zamanzi in our communities. Program Director, allow me to take this opportunity to commend the leadership shown by the MEC Madikizela of steadfastly giving a tangible expression to the wish of moving government departments in the province away from the rented office spaces to occupying spaces owned by the people, which we hope will give greater agility to the provincial public purse in pursuit of improved services to our people. The Bathandwa Ndondo Office Park, a portion of the Komani Psychiatric Hospital Office Complex, emerges from the building that were no longer utilized, making this space the obvious choice to increase government footprint in the region and respond intelligently to the challenge of a shortage of office space. Uchilo ke intoba let's exploit the value chain. Let's look at your multiplier effects. If wenza lento, what are other opportunities that are coming up from this? And in that, grow our economy, give opportunities to our people. The Christiani district is one of the largest and largely rural districts in the province. Office accommodation throughout the district, whether private or public owned, is scarce in so much that the department ends up leasing various small properties to accommodate one department. The idea behind the decision was not only to reduce spending by the departments towards rentals, but was also intended to ensure that all the components of any particular departments are housed in one building. How apt then, therefore, that as we strive towards a better life for all, as we consolidate the manner in which public service in the province are rendered, that we recognize the contribution made by Comrade Bathandwa, Ubura, Ndondo, in helping to bring about change in our country. We now know that were it not for the unfolding of key events in the life of Bura, the fight for liberation, particularly in this part of the country, would have been less potent without his direct participation, specifically in the tumultuous decade of the 1980s. It was the death of his grandmother that would shift fate in favor of progressive forces, as his mother took him to her elder sister's family, the Ntsebezas, in Tsala to raise him. We heard about that story. The Kalanga area has long been one of the places that has produced activists and revolutionaries. Nakule cabinet ebethetha ngayo u-MEC ka-president une-ministers zimbini, iminister yakwa-finance neminister yakwa-DMR zisuka phaa ecala. Uthi omnye xa ndibuza ke loo nto athi ayizo-ministers nje zine-masters. You would know who probably would be saying that. So I'm telling you, ngemeko yasecala, uyabona ke mama usokuthi ingcobo necala zindawo apha eziyingxaki. Sikhula pha sixelelwa ngela xesha lala rhulumente kanomgogwana wasekhaya. Phaya into kokuba laa ndoda yasebathenjini yayiphethe ayihambe ngcobo. It was a serious indoctrination. Ayihambe ngcobo nasecala. And zezo areas kanye ezingazange zavumela ukwenziwa ne-trust nezinye izinto ezazisenziwa xa kwakucandwa ukuredemarcate imihlaba. They resisted everything. Sasikhulwa sixelelwa into yoba hayi xa efika apha enyanga esikolweni uyajika abe imazi yakho. Agqithe phaa ingcobo engenabona akanawunyathela apha engcobo. So yindlela ke umrhabulo ufakwa ngayo ukwenzela into yoba uyazi uba yindawo eserious lasegcobo kwezomzabalazo. Sikhulela kuloo environment ke enjalo. Bura completed his primary schooling at Tsala and matriculated in 1980. It was during his time at the University of the then Transkei as a member of the Student Representative Council, following his election to the board in 1981, that Bura would come face to face with challenges millions of Africans face at the time. That his political consciousness was ignited. A year later, he would be suspended from UNITRA for political activities. Following his suspension, he returned to Tsala, where he was employed at the Health Care Trust. However, his commitment to bringing about change did not wane. It was in 1984 that the security branch of the apartheid regime would focus its attention on this young lion and would harass and detain Bathandwa Ndondo on numerous occasions for his political activism. Asithetha ngolu hlobo kasivuseleli manxeba mama. Ungakhathazeki into enasithetha nje inyani kuba funeka sithethe sikwaziyo singqine sikubonileyo khona ukuze ihistory le ishicilelwe ngendlela eright. Following the year, on the 24th of September in 1985, he was picked up at his home in Tsala by a unity involving South African police member Mbuso Enoch Shabalala, Transkei Police Sergeant Gciniso Lamont Dandala, and Askaris Slulami Gladstone Mose and Xolelwa Virginia Shosha. He was shot dead in cold blood in broad daylight in the center of Tsala town. one of the eyewitnesses, an elderly woman, asked the police, "Whose child are you shooting like a dog?" Ungacinga ke xa ungumzali, ingakumbi umzali ongumama, kuba kulapho inimba ikho khona. Masimbulele uThixo ba akugcine mama ube kanti usame ngenyawo kwezi zinto zingaka. You were almost artificially obliterated by the experiences that you went through and what you actually witnessed happening to your son. The female askari involved, the Xolelwa Shosha, is reported to have replied, "This dog must not pretend to be dead before he has given us the information we want." I find it very lula kulento kumuntu ongumama onenimba. Iyakuxelela uba imeko ebesikuyo eSouth Africa yayimeko eyayimasikizi imanyungunyezi ngolona hlobo. Apho kwakungekho kwakuphele inimba koomama. Ngenxa yosebenzela urhulumente bocalucalulo nobandlululo. Later, the Transkei president, Chief K.D. Matanzima, publicly announced that Ndondo had been killed because he had been involved in the Mthatha fuel depot bombings. That statement was quite simply untrue, but unwittingly proved to be an embarrassing public admission of the activities of government hit squad. The fuel depot bombing had in fact been the work of a daring Umkhonto Wesizwe operation by a unit under the command of uComrade Mazola, uDumisani Mafu. Amongst those that were active in the carrying out armed attacks against the Transkei regime in this period were Comrade Zola Dubeni, Atwell Mazizi Maqhekeza, Mzwandile Vena, Phumzile Mayapi, Sisa Ngombane, Ndibulele Nzamele, and Welile Salman. While Bathandwa Ndondo was a committed activist and revolutionary, he nonetheless had nothing to do with the fuel depot explosion. Bona ke lento kuthiwa ngunanko namhla ngenzanga nto. Xelwe into enje, rhawulwe nje noba ikho ngakuwe kuthiwe uyenzile. He was in fact callously killed for something he did not do. Bathandwa's targeting also underscored how much the Transkei authorities feared his political activities and mobilization of people against an unjust regime and sought to cast him as an armed insurrectionist. In a sign of the times, the then Transkei police repressed the funeral arrangement for Bura in a heavy-handed manner, also intimidating anyone remotely associated with the funeral arrangement. This would be one of the few times the church would be found on the wrong side of history, when even the Roman Catholic Church, which his family had counted on to provide a priest to officiate, even refused to help. Ma'am. It would take a brave Anglican, the Reverend Edgar Rudock, to give Bura a deserved and a humane send-off and conducted the funeral service where mourners were monitored by heavily armed police with armored vehicles. The Transkei security forces turned back all the vehicles heading to the funeral from outside Cala. Mourners wearing T-shirts with slogan "Rest in Peace Bathandwa Ndondo" were also arrested. 51 people were detained as a result. Ndiyavuya into kokuba le mbali siyilinka neprogram ebesiyenza Chairperson of the Nihao siyonikezela another beautiful office park complex phaya emaXesibeni koweni kwaBhaca. Apho besiyonikezela ngeoffices nalapho esizithiye ngoComrade uBham sawumazi uComrade uBham. uComrade uThobile Sithili Bham, he was exactly in the same unit. Uyawumazi ke ubingunyana yakho naye uThobile Bham bebehlala noBathandwa pha kwakho xa bebaleka pha eMthatha njalo njalo. Besithiya ioffices phaya emaXesibeni eMount Fred last week Friday ngaye, beautiful big offices that are there that have been built by this government in honor of these gallant fighters. Sizama ke ukushicilela lomzila wenkululeko khona ukuze aba bantu bangalityalwa nasisizukulwana esisezayo. Program Director, it is fitting therefore that we reimagine the kind of leaders that Bura and his peers would have been should they have survived the brutality and violence that accompanied keeping apartheid in place. For their crime was to hope and wish for a better life for the marginalized and brutalized African majority in our country. We look forward to the 100% delivery of these refurbishments, which we'll also hope will accommodate other government services, including Department of Human Settlement, but also this idea that OMC has spoken about. When we build these offices, we need this social housing, human settlement coming up, so that abasebenzi kube lula ukufikelela emisebenzini, urhulumente akwazi ukuba nale infrastructure to get abasebenzi benendawo zokuhlala bezawukwazi urenta. And then that will complete this ecosystem, will complete this value chain. Same money will be reinvested back into the fiscus and assist us to invest more in developing our people. It is our hope that these office precincts will also serve as catalyst for further growth opportunities, but more importantly, access to services with an inculcated culture of giving through meaning to Batupili principle. Yawubamba into ba abasebenzi basebenze ezulwini kodwa ba behave as if bakwa Satan emhlabeni. Xa usihlele ezulwini behave ngokomuntu ophi osezulwini. So sizawucela ke sisebenzisane ke ngona abasebenzi sibambisane. Izolo besise Alwal North. Xa ungene Alwal North wamkelwa by beautiful building, huge building, 240 million plus that we invested there building those offices to also bring those government departments under one roof. Kulo nyaka ungaphelanga izawube uqhukunjelwa umsebenzi wokuqinisekisa i-Bishop Precinct. Kuba i-head office zalapha funeka zibe semcimbini abasebenzi basebenze kwindawo enesidima. NaseBishop abasebenzi basebenza kwikona ngekona kwimeko ezingekho ntle ezingekho right. Umcimbi we-COVID has also exposed us dearly to that. Kungaphelanga lo nyaka sawube launch another shovel-ready project, Office Park Precinct, eMagqesibeni. The district offices zase Alfred Nzo. Currently, some of our departments in Alfred Nzo are in KZN, in Kokstad. It just can't be right. So the money that is meant to develop Eastern Cape is developing another province. So we've got to move with speed and address these challenges for us to develop this province. All this work, we're doing it because we are committed towards achieving the province that we want. We want to make sure that we bring the province that offers boundless opportunities to its people. We want a province that broadens the horizon of its people. We can't continue with a province that can't provide greener pastures. Our people must always be on the road to continue experiencing this horrific accident that happened in Kai Cuttings. Bahambe babheke eKapa, bahambe babheke eRhawutini, uba ngaba babhubhelanga ku-N1 babhubhela ku-N2, uba babhubhelanga ku-N2 babhubhela ku-N3, noba kwenziwa i-problem yokubulawa kwabantu ePhoenix, abantu abalapha abaninzi ngabase-Eastern Cape, kuba sincame sazimbacu kwilizwe lakuthi. Elo xesha lifikile lesiphelweni, urhulumente makasebenze aqinisekise into kokuba siguqula izinto, sitshintshe izinto khona ukuze eliphondo libe liphondo elinegalelo ekukhulisweni kwelizwe, libe liphondo eliluqilima ekuqinisekiseni into kokuba ubomi babantu bakuthi buyaguqulwa bube ngcono. I declare the Bathandwa Ndondo office complex open and ready to serve. Let's serve our people. Thank you very much.
Nkosi kakhulu Premier uzawuza u-Executive Mayor azokubulela. Kodwa manditsho uba siyabulela ngalo mrhabulo kuba nalo ikwangumrhabulo ozama usikhumbuza ngobomi negalelo likaBathandwa Ndondo ekulwiseni okanye kulwisaneni norhulumente we-apartheid and colonialism. Siyabulela kakhulu ke ngalo mrhabulo, kodwa ngondihleli phaa ndiye ndaqaphela uba iimaski ezi ziyabasitha abantu. Ndibona utata uMaseti, one of the senior political and economic analysts esinazo apha eprovinsini okwangumcebisi phaa kulaa ofisi kaPremier. Ndiye ndacinga ke Premier ngokuthetha uba eneneni mhlawumbe into yokufana uba siyenza kakuhle singayiqapheli uba ibalulekile xa sithetha ngokukhulisa isizwe noqoqosho lwalo. Asike sithethe ngobukhokheli njengenye into ebaluleke kakhulu xa kukhuliswa ilizwe. Ndiyaqaphela ukuba siyagxeka kakhulu endaweni yokuxhasa iinkokheli ukwenzela into yobana xa sikhulisa ilizwe siliphuhlisa, ingakumbi iinkokheli ezonyulwe ngokweenkqubo yentando yesininzi. Kubalulekile ukuba le negativism bendithetha ngayo ukuba siyiqaphele, ingakumbi thina abantu abalapha namhlanje funeka sike siphume naloo nto yokuba siyenze ngamabomi into yokuba iinkokheli zixhaswe. Kuba ndimamele uPremier ngokathethayo ukuba besinozimamela ezi zinto urhulumente afuna ukuzenza wephondo, sinike inkxaso nesapoti kuzo, singenza umahluko omkhulu. Ndiyaphinda, xa kukhuliswa ilizwe kufuneka ke sithethe about the importance of leadership, the concept of leadership. Singathethi nje xa sikathetha ngeenkokheli ngathi ungakhupha omnye umntu ufake omnye umntu kukhokhelwe urhulumente kakuhle, kodwa siyithathe njengenye yezinto ezibalulekileyo xa kuthiwa kuyaphuhliswa, ukwenzela uba singazigxeki iinkokheli to the extent yokuba isociety le esikuyo ingabi na-confidence kwiinkokheli. Kuba xa sisenza loo nto senza kubekho umbhodamo, kanti once kubekho iinkokheli abantu bayazi uba iinkokheli ziyahlonitshwa, zinikwa inkxaso xa kukho abantu abanika uxanduva loba bakhokhele. Singaya kude kweli phondo uba singake senze loo nto. Ndiyithethiswa ke loo nto kuba ndizawubiza u-executive mayor ndizothi funeka ukubheka phambili sike siyenze loo nto njengezinye zezinto ezingumcelimngeni apha kwesi sizwe sethu, ingakumbi kweli phondo laseMpuma Koloni. Kuba uba singayenza loo nto ngempumelelo kuyabonakala ingasithatha isibeke endaweni. Honorable Executive Mayor, mandikucela uze ngaphambili uzobulela bonke abantu abalapha ngokuba bezidinile bazokwenza lo msitho wayimpumelelo. Enkosi.
Enkosi kakhulu kuwe program director Councillor Mbotshane, ndibulise ohloniphekileyo uPremier weliphondo lase-Eastern Cape, ohloniphekileyo umphathiswa wakwa Public Works, andazi mphathiswa noba the infrastructure part siyayifaka nayo apha ephondweni, kodwa you are delivering infrastructure. Deputy Executive Mayor of the district municipality ethiwe ngotata uKhrizani, u-Executive Mayor wase-Enoch Mgijima, u-Executive Mayor wase-Inxuba Ethemba. Ndiyakubona mama zonke uba uhamba nomkhosi wakho wonke, ndiyaqoka ikhona le nto uzoyifuna. Ungangahambi wedwa, ndiyambona uSpeaker, ndiyabona namanye amalungu e-mayoral committee yakho. Mandibulise zonke ii-councillors ezinoba zikhona, the provincial chairperson of Nihawu, the district directors ezikhoyo zonke ze-departments, inkokheli zabasebenzi ezikhoyo, all government officials, members of the media ezikhoyo kodwa mandibulise ngokukhetheke kakhulu kwifamily yakwatata uNdondo. Indeed, I must agree with the executive mayor of Inokumkijima that the people of this municipality are going to benefit the most. However, they must equally own and husband this facility the most. Masikubulele sodolopho ngosamkela, including a bit of dedication of your remarks to the history of Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo, a history and context that would later be expanded by the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape. Honorable Kupula welcomed the delegation which was later introduced by the Deputy Executive Mayor of the district, Umfundisi September. She did an excellent job in this task. Masikubulele Mfundisi. A sister to Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo spoke fondly of his brother, but also locate the relations in the context of the contribution that Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo made in the struggle to liberate our people. She, in a way, program director, pleaded with government to service our own people better, and in doing so, government would be honoring the name of his brother and the sacrifices he made. Indeed, in agreeing with the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape, we wish to thank once more the Ndondo family for permitting government to name this facility egameni lakhe. Comrade Masango, the provincial chairperson of Nihau, ndiyakwazi ngokheli ukuba you are also the member of the PEC of Kosatu. You then indeed acknowledged and applauded government for the investment in infrastructure, but also choosing the Women's Month in handing over this facility. However, how we wish indeed that this facility, as you correctly said, can be maintained on a regular basis. Siyabulela kakhulu ke sihlalo sivile sonke urhulumente uvile. Honorable MEC Madikizela provided an account of the journey traveled by the provincial government in ensuring the final completion of this facility. Indeed, Honorable MEC, you are spot on that having this one-stop center will go a long way in fastening the pace of delivering services to our own people. However, we will hold you to that idea of ensuring that accommodation for government officials is indeed realized. Siza kuhlupha nathi ngalondo ukwenzela ba siqiniseke ukuba iyenzeka. Once more, Honorable Premier, you don't disappoint us with your articulation of history, the context, the struggles of our own people, particularly the role Bathandwa Ndondo awayidlalayo, but also the direction the province of the Eastern Cape, the province of the Legions, is taking. Siyawubulela ke kakhulu umkhabulo ngeli qhawe lethu namhlanje. Indeed, Honorable Premier correctly locate this project in the context of DDM, a need to build a capable and developmental state. We must further agree with you, Honorable Premier, that government must do all in its power to resolve the challenges that it has, but also deliver better and faster to our own people. Sakwenza njalo ke, Honorable Premier, as uchilo. We know you have a very hectic program in driving the work of government in the province of the Eastern Cape. And to that context, we must appreciate you. We must appreciate your putting time to be with us in the Krizani district. Uze ngokwakho usiza in your own district. Masibulele ke nakuwe program director for the sterling work in facilitating this program. Kodwa, we wish to thank everyone for being part of this beautiful project and history in the making in our beautiful district and the province. I must once again, the program director, appreciate the presence of the Ndondo family, ikhokhelwa ngumama ngokwakhe, for the family to bear witness to this recognition of the efforts and contribution made by Comrade Bathandwa Ndondo. Siyabulela kakhulu kumntu wonke. Enkosi.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor. I shall now call upon the Reverend to come and lead us into the closing prayer. In terms of the program, I see that there is closure and lunch. Although I don't see any signs of lunch, Reverend, but you must also pray for the lunch. Thank you very much. Over to you, Reverend.
Ewe lowo wam ziwayo, ewe lowo wam aziwayo, ewe lowo wam ziwayo, can you just sing once more and give glory to the Lord for just one reason, that He have managed and keep us to see the sun shining again. Abanye abantu khange bavuke. Just one good verse. Ewe lowo waziwayo, ewe lowo waziwayo, ewe lowo waziwayo, ungophilile. Thank you. Let's pray. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we bow our heads, Lord, this afternoon to give you glory. We've been in the east, been in the west, north, and south, but we couldn't find a God who is so caring and so loving than you. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you have done for us, for the heroes that they decided to give up, to sacrifice their own lives for us to get freedom. Thank you for that mercy. UThixo kubo bonke oThixo akakho uThixo ofana nawe. Siyabulela ke Thixo wethu, sibulela ngenkokhelo sinike zona. Teach us, Lord, to be responsible, to be humble, and to be committed to the assignments that are given to us. Once again, Lord, as we are going to go out, Lord, from this hall or tent, taking different direction, be our own guide. Sincede Thixo usikhokhele uyosifikisa kwindawo ubusiboleke zona. Sifike sidibane neefamily zethu siphephile. Asinalo elinye ithemba ngaphandle kwakho. Athi uPawulos xa thetha ngawe athi silinde ithemba elinoyolo. Ulolo themba ke Thixo bomini bethu. Siyabulela ke Thixo wethu ngazo zonke izinto osenzele zona ngoku kude kube nginaphakade. Amen. Maluthi ke ngoko ufefe lenkosi yethu Yesu Kristu, uthando nobudlelwane bomoya oyingcwele buhlale phakathi kwethu ngoku kude kube nginaphakade. Amen. Masithandazeleni lunch ngosingayibonanga. Nkosi sikelela isixhaso somphefumlo, sikelela nezandla ezitheza kwenza ngoku kude kube nginaphakade. Amen.
Lunch will be served here for wonke umuntu ningahlala.
Mandibulise kuba bonke abantu abalapha namhlanje. Ngokukhethekileyo ke kuPremier wethu nakumphathiswa wethu uba uMathikizela ulapha. Kosodolophi nabo kuba bonke abantu nefamily kaComrade uBathandwa Ndondo. Sizawuqala ke le nkqubo ke yokokuba sizokuwonga. Sikhumbula uBathandwa Ndondo ngemisebenzi yakhe athe wayenza eyenzela inkululeko yeli lizwe ukuze namhlanje sibe sikule ndawo sikuyo. Asizukulibazisa ke, sizawucela ke umama ngoba uthe uNkulunkulu ufuna ucula iculo lakhe. Umama kaComrade Bathandwa elefemeli njengoba iifemeli zinamaculo ekhaya akafunanga nohlatyelelo, uthe ufuna uzihlabelela. Sizamnikela thuba ke ngokumama. Enkosi, over to you, mama.
Ulelani kuYehova kuba elungile, kuba ububele bakhe bubo baphakade. Natsho amaSirayeli indlu zawo zonke, athi ububele bakhe bubo baphakade. Ndamemeza kuYehova ndandisenqindweni, wandinceda wandibeka endaweni ebanzi. Ukuthemba uYehova nokuphepha ngaye kuko okulungileyo, kungathenjwa bantu. Mandisinde ngawe Nkosi, undisikelele. Mandiphumlela ngawe Nkosi, undithamsanqele.
Sizawucela ukuba sizole nje ithutyana sivule ke le ndibano ngomthandazo. Masithandazeni. Akwaba Thixo wethu imilomo yethu ngalo lonke ixesha lethu lokuphuma umkhosi kweli lizwe. singaxelela abantu okokuba unguThixo ophilayo, sixelele abantu uba unguThixo ovayo, sixelele abantu uba unguThixo onamandla onke. Siwabonile amandla akho Thixo ngokusikhokhela siphuma kwilizwe lengcinezelo. Wahamba nathi njengoThixo wazosibeka kule ndawo. Bathi abanye xa beshiywa ngabantwana babo, abanye beshiywa ngabalingani, abanye beshiywa ngabayeni babo, wena Thixo wolula isandla sakho sokunene. Bathi xa besiwa wabaphakamisa, wanguThixo wabo bona bangabantwana bakho. Silapha ke Thixo wethu sizothe enkosi kumaqhawe elilizwe athe anikezela ngobomi babo ukuze thina sonke sixhamle inkululeko. Siyabulela kuba noThixo ofana nawe. Siyathandaza ke Thixo ngcwalisa lo msebenzi egameni loYise nelonyana nelomoya oyingcwele. Amen.
Siyayivula ngo. Akho nto uzasithethisa. Umuntu ozawufunda bangazomaka kube umfundi. Khuleke bami.
Bathandwa, Ndondo, 1963. Bathandwa, Ndondo, born 1963, passed on 1985. This site was officially named Bathandwa Ndondo Office Park by Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape Province, Lubabalo Oscar Mabuyane, on the 18th of August 2021, Province of the Eastern Cape, Republic of South Africa. Thank you.
Hayi ngoku asizuphinda sihlale phansi senze lebe siyenze pha. So siyavula kango. Khona umuntu ozafunda. Ngizama ufunde kwa wena. Sekhe ngiyamxayisa izinto ezendawo sekhe.
Vunelani makhulu ke.
Eli Lipondo, that's the Eastern Cape, Republic of South Africa. Bathandwa Ndondo Office Complex, Office Park. This building was officially opened by the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape Province, Lubabalo Oscar Mabuyane, on the 18th of August 2021. Thank you.
Nisani mama kakuhle bazabavele kahle. Angabambi nami ngamosola ngeCovid. Akenze umzekelo. Yes.